Welcome to the Basketball Diary. I'm Wu. Again, as usual, I'm with a former NBA great and also UConn great, Scott Burrell.
You use the word great very lightly.
Coach Scott Burrell. He's now at Southern Connecticut coaching, finished second
my
year,
second year, yeah.
going into third.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. Everything's going well. I'm enjoying where I am. Got a good team coming back next year, and I'm excited.
You have most people don't know, obviously, like young kids don't know, very interesting path, career.
Yeah.
Growing up, before going to UConn, you were drafted.
Yes.
You're the first player in America to be drafted, baseball and basketball, right? But you were drafted
First
twice.
one. Yeah.
Twice
Yeah.
for baseball.
Yep. Yep.
How was that? Like, what did you play? What position?
I was pitcher, mostly pitcher, but I played other positions when I wasn't pitching. But once you get drafted, I think part of the reasons why I chose football and basketball was because as a pitcher, you only pitch once every 5 days.
Yeah.
In the big leagues, and when you're young, you want to be out there every day competing, and it was just tough for me to sit on the bench waiting for my opportunity to start again as a starting pitcher. So basketball, you're on the court every day. You compete against the best players in the world, and I just love that challenge.
You never wanted to give a shot at UConn for baseball?
Well,
Like-
I played professional out of high school, so I never really had a chance to. So I played for Seattle,
Oh,
the
you
Blue
did?
Jays minor league teams right out of high school.
Okay, and how was that?
It was good. I mean, it was a great experience. As soon as school's over, summer school came. I went to first session of summer school. Then I'll go play baseball for 7 weeks. But I never gave myself a chance to be successful or to see how far I could have went because I was always, going back to school as soon as school started in September.
It's basketball straight up.
Yeah, basketball was my first love.
Jim Calhoun recruited you.
Yep.
If you didn't go to UConn, where would you be? Did you have like any other vision of like?
Well, I took a visit to Miami. I was going to play baseball in Miami. So that's my other visit I took was went on to Miami and playing for Coach Frazier down there. That was another choice I was going to. Well, that's what I really decided to do at first too, commit to Miami to play baseball.
I think I read that somewhere. So it was either Miami or University of Connecticut.
Yes.
And obviously that time during Miami, their basketball program was.
Well, they just started it basically, yeah.
Yeah,
Because I was thinking about playing both too when I went down there.
Would he have let you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we talked about it too.
And so at UConn, you said, hey, I'm going to just really focus on basketball.
Yeah.
And focus you did.
Yeah. And being part of the first Big East regular season champion and the Big East tournament championship at UConn was awesome thrill. I mean, they picked us last. They picked us coming last in the Big East that year, and they ended up coming in first, tied with I think maybe Syracuse or Georgetown. I can't remember, but to even play against those teams and to have UConn mentioned with the Syracuse, the Georgetowns, and the Villanovas, it was an awesome thrill in those days.
Most memorable game?
I think it just
Most
memorable
toughest competitor.
was a lot of them in the Big East back then. You had Alonzo Dikembe, Malik Sealy. You had everything, Terry DeHare. The Big East was a beast. You had Derek Coleman. Every team had 2 first-round picks on the team back in the day.
Wow.
So I mean, it was every game you went into, you knew you were playing against the best players in college basketball.
Do you remember like the hardest guy you had to guard?
Malik Sealy.
Really?
Malik Sealy was about 6'7", 6'8". He got killed in a car accident, but that's one person I looked up to, and that was the hardest guard I had, the hardest player to play against back in the day.
Wow.
He was quick, great mid-range jumper, athletic. He was tough. Yeah.
When Jim recruited you at that time, what was like his pitch? I mean, what was his vision? Did you ever envision, like now looking back as a former player, former alum?
Yeah.
Like, wow, our program's grown this big.
Yeah. He pitched keeping the best players in the state. Steve Peichel stayed in state. He was player of the year. Chris Smith. Then I was after Chris Smith. I was player of the year in the state. Keep your best players in state. You're going to start building something good. And Steve did a great job in his 4 years there. Chris Smith's the all-time leading scorer, and I hope I left a little legacy when I was there too.
You did. Then you go into the NBA. You've played with quite a bunch of people who are, I mean, this guy's played with Del Curry, right?
Del Curry, Alonzo Mourning.
Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr also.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
Pip.
Yeah.
Coached by Phil Jackson.
Yeah. Dave Collins. Yeah.
How? What was that like? What did you take out of all of that?
Learn every day. I mean, it's obviously each team is different.
Yeah.
Was different, but you got to learn everywhere you go in life. You can't just go there and not have anything embedded into your mind or into your game that doesn't make you a better person or a better player. You have to get better every day, and each team told me something different. I think when I went to Chicago, it was all business. Guys weren't there to worry about contracts. Guys weren't there to worry about anything else but win championships. Other teams, they might have been young and they didn't know how to win yet. So, I mean, a lot of things deterred us from being as good as we could have been. But when you're in Chicago, that's the only thing that they were focused on, and that's why they were as good as they were.
You played on the second part of the three-peat.
The last year, they won championship 98. Yep, 97, 98.
How did that feel for you?
Oh, it was an awesome feeling. I mean, just to win a championship, it's the pinnacle of your profession, really. I mean, that's what your goal is, to win a championship. And for me to finally reach that goal, to play with 3 Hall of Famers, to get coached by 3 Hall of Fame coaches, it was awesome thrill.
When you were when you were playing with these guys, now obviously Jordan is a big time player. Everybody asks like, what's your Jordan story? But you play with these guys who one is now a coach with the Warriors, one is now Bobcats,
Hornets,
and the other one has a kid now on the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see him when he was?
Oh yeah, he was a baby. Steph
was a little baby, right?
And Seth, yeah, they were a kid. They were young, yeah.
Wow.
So it's amazing to see him where. Yeah, I even text Dell now, and I'm like, Dell, it's amazing to have a son. How is it to have a son that's so good? He's one of the best players in the NBA. He said Scott, and he's like, say Scott, he's just as good in golf as he is in basketball too. So it's funny, yeah. So he's talented.
Did you ever babysit him?
No.
I heard some people were Rex Chapman said he babysat.
Oh really?
They were in the same building complex.
Yeah. I wasn't responsible enough back then.
You were finishing shooting threes.
Yeah. I was in the gym working.
And you carved out a role in the NBA. Yeah. Like, how did you maintain so many years in the NBA? There's guys. There's guys that just get in and just get spit out.
Yeah.
And then there's the lifers, and then you also played overseas as well.
You got to find each team you're playing. You got to do your part. You do your role, and my role is to play hard, play defense, and knock down shots. One thing I did what I can do well. What I do well. I didn't try to do more than what I can do. That's when you get yourself in trouble. That's when your team doesn't need you. You have other people to do that stuff. I just did my role.
And then you went overseas.
Yeah. After that, yeah.
You went to how many countries?
Philippines, China, Spain, and Japan. Yeah.
Favorite country?
I loved them all. All of them gave me great experience. Great to see the other cultures. I loved each and every place I was at. I guess Tokyo might be.
You played in Tokyo?
Yeah, in Japan. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Tokyo was a great city. Philippines, great city. I still have a lot of friends in the Philippines. I talked to a lot.
That's where you get your suits, right?
I used to, yeah.
Do you still get your suits there?
No, not anymore. But I used to, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It takes too long now, so.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But it was a great deal back then. Great deal.
The times change so much, where people are. There's so many people overseas, D League, G League now, and then NBA. And you got a taste of everything. Championship, different teams. Because when you were at the Hornets, how many years did they just start?
There were probably 6 years before I got there. They were started, so it was a new franchise.
It was new.
Franchise. That's in Orlando.
Yeah. So you were in that situation, championship situation, playing with another role player, also becoming a coach, and then dibbling in overseas experience. Like, what made you transfer into coaching?
It was kind of a simple transition. I mean, you want to stay involved in the sport, number one. You love the game. You love the competition of it. You can't play at that highest level anymore. And the next thing is coaching. You get to teach what you've learned from all the stops I've taken, all the great coaches, all the great players, and try to mold into a player and find that in a player that you're recruiting.
Yeah.
And bring the most out of them. socially, athletically, and academically. And you're molding young kids into men, and it's a fun challenge.
Did you think you would be back in Connecticut working at Quinnipiac when you first started it?
I didn't. To be honest, I didn't know where I'd be, but I just it was a great opportunity for me to be back in my hometown and start my college coaching career. So
Right there, right?
yeah, about half a mile from my house. So
And the funny story was you were living at home commuting.
yeah. So
That was like
with my family
low
every day.
cost.
Yeah. So it was nice.
I mean, there's never been. I don't think there's ever a former NBA player coaching was like, oh, well, I'm down the block from my home.
Might as well stay there.
Might as well stay there, right?
I've been blessed and lucky to have two great parents, so I
Yeah.
want to stay with them as long as possible.
And your dad was.
He coached at Yale. He
Yale.
coached at Yale for a long time,
For
football for the 30-something years. Yeah.
He never told you to play football?
I mean, I played in high school, but I mean, it was my decision. But I just didn't
Yeah.
want to. Yeah, I stopped playing
Basketball was like booming.
Yeah.
Now you're coaching, second year, first year. Tell us about how Division II is compared to Division I.
It's pretty similar. Talent level's high level. We're a high level program at Southern. Only thing different really is the off season.
Yeah.
You know, you can't work your guys out in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Your guys go home. Don't take summer class unless they need to, and they take them on their own most of the time. But what's good about that is, I think it's tough for kids now to get motivated to play every day.
Yeah.
Because they played so much AAU, high school, every day they played. And AAU, you have 3 games, 4 games a day. It's good for kids to miss something. And if they go home with their family, spend time with their mom and dad, see their friends, if they miss it, they'll come back hungrier to play. And that's what's great about Division II.
You got some interesting experiences. You guys went to the playoffs too, right?
The NCAA's last 2 years, yeah.
How was that?
Awesome. I mean, I've been blessed to coach some great players, and hopefully we can continue that streak going. And we made the last 4 years, and last year we won our first round game. So I mean, we advanced to the second round. Hopefully we get better next year and go farther than that.
And your best player was Mike Mallory.
Yeah, Mike Mallory. Yep, graduated this year. Yeah. He'll be playing basketball next year somewhere professional.
What do you think? Europe?
You know what? I'm not sure. I talked to him. He has an agent, and hopefully his agent can find him his best deal. I'm not sure where he's going to go yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because these guys, what was it, like
2,300, like 2,400 points maybe. 20. Yeah, it's about
So he
24,
was like
25
over 20 points per game, right?
23.7 per game in the last 2 years.
Wow.
He's an all-time leading scorer in Northeast 10, and obviously an all-time leading scorer of Southern history.
Wow, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Now this incoming class, you have how many guys?
4 scholarship guys coming in, and a couple of walk-ons that are going to be really helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you recruit these kids and their parents, what are some of the things that you're looking for, and what are some of the things they look for? Like, they don't know Southern Connecticut. Some people don't.
Yeah.
And I've met some of these guys who are D2, D3. They're like, well, where's that school? And
Yeah,
like, I don't
yeah.
know. Like,
You know, you just want a kid that hungry to play basketball, hungry to become a better person in life, and hungry to get an education.
yeah.
Basketball is only going to last you a certain amount of time. A lot of these kids coming there at our level knowing education is the number one thing. So that's what kind of kid you want. Someone that wants to be great in basketball, to maximize their full potential, to be a good person socially, and to better themselves academically, to prepare themselves for later in life.
Do you feel like D2? How's D2 recruiting versus D1 recruiting?
Well,
Because
your
you
budget.
were at Quinnipiac.
Yeah. Your budget's so much smaller, so I mean
Yeah.
that plays a huge role in it. You just gotta use all your weapons really to find the most talent. If you have friends that live out west, if they can help you find, you utilize all the people you know in your travels. That might be able to help you with finding the best players.
I'm sure. Obviously, every school they have AAU coaches, player parents contacting college coaches,
Yeah.
and you're no different. How do they contact you normally? Do they go through college? Do they go through AAU coaches, high school coaches, or do they email you?
Every way, really. Emails, videos. Go
What's
through
like
high
the
school
pipeline
coaches.
that you have that?
I just use the people I've met throughout my life. I mean, I
Yeah.
trust them in their judgment and talent a lot of times. And if they tell me they have a player that can really play, I'll take their word for it because I have trust in the people that I'm friends with, I'm close with.
Yeah.
I'll go out and see them if the guy's good enough, and I'll see what happens. try to get them offer them scholarship.
Currently, the states that you guys, the players, are from, which state? Illinois, Connecticut,
Yeah,
New
we
York.
have kid coming from Belgium. Excuse me,
wow.
kid from Denmark. Excuse me.
Wait, how'd you find him?
AAU
Okay.
2 years ago. Denmark, Massachusetts, Illinois, New York, Connecticut, Wisconsin.
Really?
Yeah, 2 guys from Wisconsin. So we recruit, a variety of different places.
How's their
Nevada,
experience?
we got a guy from Nevada. this
Really?
year, Yeah.
How's their experience so far?
Well,
Like, with
most of those
the-
guys, some of those guys are gonna be freshmen coming in next year.
Okay,
Or junior
okay.
college kids, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Or Southern's a great place.
Yeah, I've been
it's
there.
Yeah, it's a school with great diversity, great education, and great basketball.
Yeah.
So when you come to Southern, it's real life experiences.
And the athletic program itself,
Yeah.
not just basketball, they do pretty well. Track and
Yeah,
field.
track and field's very good. Yeah. Swimming.
Oh, swimming?
Yeah, swimming's very good. Football, women's basketball, national championship a few years back. Yeah.
Okay, so football, they pumped out a few guys. They pumped out one guy for the Patriots, right?
Yeah, Andrewsy. Yeah.
Okay,
Andrewsy.
okay.
Yeah.
And they're always competitive with football.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. They dropped it for a little while, but now they brought it back, and they're getting better every year.
You guys are the only state school
In the conference,
In
yeah.
the conference. Everybody else is private.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So those are the recruiting. What do you think of lightly? What do you think of this year's finals?
I'm just going to say it's tough. I mean, they have 4 talented players on the team, and they have a great bench that comes off. When the guys come in, they know what their roles are. So I mean,
Yeah.
they're a deep team that that had a mission, and their mission was to win a championship, and they succeeded. I just, if you're playing against them, you can't score with them. They have too many weapons to score. You got to slow the game down, I think.
Do you see them winning the next few years?
I mean, it depends. I mean, NBA is totally different now.
Yeah.
If guys make phone calls to each other and say, "Come play with me," someone else will compete. So, I mean, that's how it is now. So it's totally different.
And as far as the draft that just passed a few days ago, what's your thoughts?
A lot of young guys getting drafted. I mean, it just waters down the NBA. When that happens, Golden State won't get called because they're a veteran team, and with guys who run a great system. Steve has those guys. They bring guys in that know how to play well together. And when you have an older team that knows how to play well together, you'll win a lot of games. Young guys have to learn the game, learn how to play with each other, learn how to deal with all the social things that go on and playing the NBA. So I mean, you keep drafting young guys, but young guys aren't going to win you championships.
And it's different.
Yeah.
NFL, you draft picks.
Yeah.
NBA, free agents.
Yeah. Free agents bring those older guys.
Those are the older guys that will always
Yeah.
win. One last question. Assistant coach
Yeah.
role, and then head coach role. What was some of the things that you really had to learn on the fly when you became a coach?
At the head coach?
Yeah.
On the fly, how to treat the refs, I think, is the hardest thing. Because you get so angry sometimes, and you think they're blowing calls, and obviously it's not intentional. Well, for the most part, you think it's not intentional, but how to talk to them, how to relate with them. Because as an assistant, you don't say anything to them, but at the same time, you don't want to make them mad now as a head coach, where they feel like they're going to get you back. So I think that's the fine line that you have to deal with as being a head coach. Plus making decisions. But I love that part. I mean, I'd rather win or lose a game myself with my players rather than suggesting something and not using my suggestion or being ignored as an assistant coach. So I'd rather being able to make the calls during the game.
Yeah.
It's something I love about it.
In terms of relationship with these kids nowadays, every year is a new generation.
Yeah.
They communicate differently,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's visual, oral, such. What is it like coaching these young kids for you?
It's a challenge every day, but I love coaching.
Yeah.
You know it's a challenge. Everything's not going to go smoothly every day, but that's why you have an assistant coach. That's why you're the psychologist, the coach, and the father. Try to be the
babysitter
parent,
too.
Yeah, babysitter
right?
at times, and you try to make it work. And the bottom line, if we win, everybody's happy. So
Yeah.
yeah, got to make it fun.
Coach Scott Burrell, thank you very much.
No, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
In case, I don't know, do you use Twitter? Sometimes?
Not much. Yeah,
Not
I
much,
just,
right?
No, yeah, I don't.
You don't
even
do it.
technology. I don't know how to use
They
technology.
just.
Yeah, I'm too old for that, I guess. Someone has to sit down and teach me, but.
And
yeah.
you don't use Amazon that much either.
Not much, no.
Oh my
Every
God!
now and
Yeah, we.
then. But I did buy those chairs on Amazon.
Okay, so basically the way people reach you would be through your assistant or
Or
something like
email,
that.
yeah, email.
Email.
Yeah.
Just straight up email. You
Yeah.
always check your school
Yeah.
email.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's easier. What's your email?
Burrell S2 at southernct.edu.
There you